Hey guys, what is going on? As Ryan would say, what is going on? I hope everyone's well today and you're jacked up for today's webinar. We got a really good one uh, for this hour, roughly. And I just wanted to congratulate a lot of you on having your first sales in the system. I really think it's great that you're taking action, that you're actually going through everything. And it's just been a really, really great week for myself, and I know a lot of other people who's been using the system. All right, today we've got a really cool lineup. We've got a special guest coming on today who's actually producing results. He's kind of new in the system, and I want him to share a bit about what he's been going through and how he's been getting his results with the system. But before I carry on any further, I just want to make sure that I'm actually on here. If people could just comment and tell me that they can hear me and see me, and that I'm not got last week's webinar on here. If you can just let me know that would be really, really cool. I see we got Successful Online from Knoxville. Great. I don't know your name. If you could just give me your name, that would be really awesome. And Chris, welcome. If you guys can just let me know if you can see what's going on, that'd be really, really sweet. Let's see. I know there's a slight delay here, so I'm just gonna wait until I see a comment. If you guys can just let me know, that'd be awesome. Okay, not getting anything at the moment. Hold on. Can people actually see me? Okay, cool. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so we've got an interesting lineup today. I'm going to be covering quite some important information. As you can see, the title of this particular hangout is "Anybody Can Do This with One Condition," and that is true. You can only do this with one condition, and I want to go through that in this section today. And today, well, what I want to do is I just want to cover some reasons why people fail in business, or why people fail generally. I suppose you could say this, you could apply this to anything. But I want to talk to you specifically about why people fail in this industry, and why only generally about 2 or 1% of people actually succeed. And I know the numbers sound daunting, that, gee, Dave, only 1% can succeed. You mean 99% of people fail? And that's absolutely true, but they only fail because of a couple of reasons. But you can actually overcome that with something which I'm going to cover today. And the other thing I just wanted to go over quickly, and if you took a look at my last posting, and that is people talk to me sometimes about market saturation, and isn't the market full? Can you actually do this online? Aren't there too many opportunities? Well, I just want to kind of get this out the way, okay? The answer is an emphatic no, all right? There is no ways that you can have market saturation in this industry. There's a couple of reasons, but the first one is I want you to think about, to yourself, how many people are actually online today, all right? How many people are actually getting online every single second? And the truth is that at the moment, there's like 3.1 billion people online at the moment. That, in fact, I think it's like every second and 8 people join this business, and the numbers are real. You can actually go and look it up on online stats. And another truth is that over 100,000 people online every single day are looking for ways to make money online. And with the idea that only 1% of people succeed, you must understand that the market is wide open. All right. And obviously, the way to get through to people is to tell them exactly what they need to succeed, and which a lot of systems do not cover. So I'm going to be sharing that with you today. And this isn't actually my thoughts. I actually got this from somebody by the name of Jordan Belfort. And if you recognize that name, he's the guy from Wolf of Wall Street. I recently just watched the film, and it is quite astonishing actually how this guy went through his career. But one thing he did know, and that was how to sell and close deals. And there's a couple of things he did in that film that really kind of shot him into fame and got him to where he was, aside from all the bad stuff he did. But there were a couple of principles that actually got him to where he was today. And he teaches this. And I wanted to really cover this with you today because I feel it's so important. So we're going to talk about the number. There are 3 reasons why people actually do fail in this industry. And the first reason why people fail is because they feel overwhelmed. All right. So, information overload is something that you're going to come across in this industry. And that usually comes about because there is so many opportunities online. And with all of the stuff coming at you, you really don't know what to follow. All right. So if you can think of it this way, if you were standing, let's say you were told to stamp people's wrists that they entered a club, and somebody said, take the stamp their wrist, and do that one at a time so that we know who's in the club and who's not, right? And as we said go, 5 minutes later, and everything started, a whole rush of people just went in, and like hundreds of people just came past you. You would stand still and freak out and wouldn't know what to do, okay? Because you have overload, you are overwhelmed. And that's kind of what happens in this industry. We kind of say, you've got to set up and get yourself online. And there's just so much information out there that you're kind of shell-shocked and you don't know what to do with all of this information. And that is probably a very good reason why people don't succeed, is because they're just overwhelmed with all the information online. Okay, so that's the number 1 reason. The second one, and this is probably the most important one, and that is that they don't have a big enough why to do what they do. All right, so there are a lot of people that kind of want to make money online, but they really don't know. They really don't know why they're doing it. They just kind of in their head go, gee, I want to make a lot of money, but they don't have a real reason why they want to succeed. And believe it or not, that is the utmost important part of this, all right? If you don't have a reason to succeed, you're not going to be able to succeed in this industry because you've got no driving force inside of you that's actually getting you going, all right? There isn't there's something inside of you that's saying, well, this is your internal reason, and that is why you want to drive yourself forward. And I want to talk about that a bit later on how to actually overcome these. But that is the second most important one, is that people do not have a why they want to do it, all right? And that is important. The third reason, and this is probably the biggest reason, and that is people cannot sell anything. Most people do not know how to sell their way out of a paper bag, or they don't know how to sell to save their life, all right? There's actually a scene inside the movie called Wolf of Wall Street where he asks somebody to sell him a pen. And all they can talk about how great the pen is and what you're going to be using it for. But he actually shows you how you go about selling a pen in another interview that he had with, I think it was Piers Morgan that was interviewing him, and he went into detail on that. But people do not know how to sell anything online, period. And that's why a lot of people do fail in this industry. So they overwhelmed with information. They don't have a big enough reason why they want to do it. And they cannot sell anything for toffee. They don't know how to sell anything. And so we need to get around these 3 things, and I'm going to talk about how to do that right now. And so the way that you get over, let's say, information overwhelm, okay, is a very simple strategy, and that is to cut out all distractions. All right, so let's say you want to learn something, and you are constantly, just basic distractions, okay? You're watching TV, you're going out with your friends, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're doing all sorts of stuff. You're actually going to make a conscious effort to cut out distractions, all right? And you've also got to focus on one thing. You cannot be focusing on 5 different systems and learning everything at the same time, all right? You've got to focus on one thing. And sometimes we have to think a little bit and say, you know what, There's just too much information here. I've got to count out all distractions around me and get focused on one thing. And that's the great thing about this system that I'm going to be talking about, and that's the our system. Is that this is what this system does. It provides you with information that you can use at a pace that you can handle. It's actually designed for people who are new to the industry and who want to get on board with something that they can actually do. And instead of just bombarding you with everything, they've provided a lot of the stuff for you that you just need to get started. And that is very, very important, is to get yourself focused and not to be distracted. All right. It may sound like I'm saying stuff that, you know, everybody knows already, but you've really got to consciously make this effort and say to yourself, I'm not going to be doing 10 things at once. I'm going to be focused on one thing so that I can perfect it and use it and do the right thing with it. All right. So the other thing, and that is finding out what your big why is. Now, I remember that when I was learning, and I actually discovered this when I was, I was learning how to understand things, and that is when I was studying, and that was understanding your why you want to do this. Now, I used to say this to myself: what does it look like? What does having a big why look like? How do you describe it? So the only way that I can describe it is by giving you an illustration on how I use this to actually get over something that I battled with as a kid. And when I was young, very young, I used to be very shy. I used to be very, very withdrawn. I used to be bullied. I used to be basically made fun of. I never really stood out. I was afraid to talk to people. And I was involved with this thing that my church used to run. And we used to have this thing in our church called Pick-a-Box, all right? Now, if you don't know what Pick-a-Box is, just basically give you an idea. Pick-a-Box was, we had like 8 or 9 boxes set out, all right? And they all spelled out Pick-a-Box. And you would have a prize in each of these boxes. It could be a good prize or a bad prize. The kids never knew about it. And so we had like a game show host that would come out, and he would say to these kids, I'm going to give you so much candy or the box, all right? So, and in those days, we were using Smarties. So we would say, I'll give you 10 Smarties or the box. And then they would say, oh, I'll have, I think I'll choose the box. This is, all right, I'll give you 20 Smarties or the box. And we work our way up to like 90, 100 Smarties. And right then, it got pretty interesting because they would say, gee, I wonder if I should take the Smarties. But then they were always reminded that they could be like a really dud prize, or we would say, oh, you should, because it could be a really good prize in the box. And so, they'd be like, oh, gee, I don't know. It could be a potato in there, or it could be like a huge cake. So we would say, what do you want to choose, the Smarties or the box? The Smarties or the box. And anyway, this particular game show got quite big recognition, and everybody used to flock to our church. All the kids that loved playing this game. And there was a guy that was quite electric at doing it. He was very good, and he got all the kids riled up. And I remember thinking to myself, gee, I wish I could do that. That would be awesome. If I could actually do that, I would solve a lot of my problems, because I would get recognition from my peers. It would give me a lot of respect, and people would love me. All right. So I started to develop this why. My why was I wanted to feel significant. I wanted to feel like I was part of something. And I would kind of imagine what it would be like to actually do this. And I would watch this guy every single time he did this game show. And I would kind of in my head imagine what I would be doing if I was doing this. And so I would kind of copy him. And I remember when I used to go home, and I was like 15 at the time, 15 or 16. And I would rehearse to myself, and I would think, oh, gee, this is what I do, that is what I do. And then the following year came around, and he couldn't do it anymore. And so they got somebody to do it, and they were horrible at it. All right, they were terrible. And so I volunteered. Okay, I said, let me do it. Well, of course, all the pressure's on me now. Nobody has to deal with all these kids looking at the person, because the the biggest fear in the world is public speaking. Right after that is death, which means you'd rather be in a coffin than you would be public speaking, which makes no sense to me. But anyway, I had this responsibility of being at this game show host. And I remember I was going on for the first time, and all I did, I had such enthusiasm and such a big reason as to why I wanted to do it, because this thing was so powerful to me. I never really understood how to do it. I just followed what this guy did in the past. So I would virtually do a duplicate of what he was doing, and I would copy what he was actually telling his kids. So I would get on there and would say, hey, welcome to Pick a Box, you know, and I would spell out the word, and everybody would cheer. And it was a smash, and I did absolutely fantastic. And then we played around with the numbers, and we played around with the game a bit, and we changed it to Pick a Nose instead of Pick a Box. You know, the kids loved that. So I'd come up there saying, what do you want to choose? The P, the I, the C, the K, the A, the N, the O, the S, the E. So I'd actually spell the word out. And this actually got such a reputation, and I got such a reputation that it was very hard to find somebody else who could do it without me, because I had developed this thing, and I was so good at it. And I really never knew how to do it. I just kind of duplicated what I saw. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you really want to understand why you want to do this, or why you want to make money online, you've got to internalize it and understand that you've got to realize what the real reasons are for you to doing this. I don't know what your why is. It could be that you want to provide for your kids. It could be that you don't want to be desolate and homeless. It could be that you want to pay off your debts. You've got to find that reason as to why you want to do this, all right? I know it seems kind of simple, but when you understand and your why is big enough. I remember a couple of weeks ago, Ryan said that if you want to rescue, if your kids are trapped in a burning house and you're on the one side of the road, you don't really know how you're going to get across. You just know that you've got to get across, and you make every effort to do it. And you internalize why, and the reason why you do it is because of your kids, because you love them so much. So you've got to actually develop a huge why as to why you want to do that. All right, so you've got to actually find that why. Now, I wanted to also talk to you about, let me get to the point here. Yes. So the other thing I spoke to you about was, if you don't know how to sell stuff, if you don't know how to sell or close a deal, you're kind of dead in the water, because let's face it, you could be the best marketer in the world. If you don't know how to sell anything, it's not going to happen for you, and you're going to be hitting your wall on the head every single time. And so I want to explain to you that this system that we have is so brilliant because it does all the selling and closing for you, all right? So you actually do not even need to know how to sell. You do not even need to know how to close a deal. We have a system that has got everything set up for you so that you don't need to have this problem. And as long as you have your why, and as long as you take away the distractions to focus, you can actually get in and do the system, because your biggest hurdle of selling and closing deals is done. This system is actually made for you so that you don't need to do this all the time. And I wanted to also talk about something that happened to me a while ago. I must have been about 20 years old or something. I'm a certified professional Microsoft. I've got my MCP, or at least I had at the time back then. And I was learning how to do this, and there was a lecturer talking about his career and what he was going to do. So he was going to lecture, and he was going to lecture people on how to become a Microsoft certified professional or certified engineer. And he was talking about how they do it. And I remember thinking, man, this is so lazy. Why would you want to do this? And he said that when you actually do get qualified as a trainer, all you do as a trainer is you have an appointment, you go to the class, you got a video cassette, you stick it in the VCR, everything is set up for you, you press play, and that video starts playing, and the whole class learns. You don't do a thing. You just go back and you sit down, or you leave the class, you go away for an hour or two, you come back, and the class is finished. And I thought, what a lazy way to do things. But I didn't really understand that it actually freed up so much time for the trainer, because he could do this to about 4 or 5 classes. He could go to 4 classes, 5 classes, had this video playing up, and he wouldn't have to work out how to actually teach. The teaching would be done for him, because it was a very specific way you had to teach the curriculum. And that's actually what happens here, is that we have a system set up for you to get going. And now a lot of people, they'll be saying, well, Dave, you know, what else is the system going to do if I'm just starting a business? Well, here's the fact about the business, all right? People want to know what it's about. And I could tell you right now, and I'll go through the list just so you understand the process. I could say to you, if you don't want to do this, you could go ahead and you can get a website with all the extras, which will cost you lots of money. I could say you could learn how to build a website, build a landing page, or build a capture page. You could learn how to integrate an autoresponder. You could learn how to write copy for letters. You could learn how to build your own product. You could learn how to do free advertising, how to do paid advertising, how to set up your own compensation plan, how to set up your own merchant account so you get paid, you know, how to do HTML coding. You could learn how to use the art of selling, and you could learn how to write emails specifically from scratch, and you could learn how to track campaigns and all that stuff. You could do that, absolutely, but that is going to take you a lot of time, and it's going to cost you lots and lots of money if you want to get there quicker. All right, and I'm talking lots of money, $10,000, $20,000, if you want to get all of that going with an absolute winning campaign. But the great thing about this system is that it gives you the basics to get started. It gives you the basics so that you don't need to be overwhelmed with information. And the website setup, the capture pages are set up, the landing pages are set up, the autoresponder integration is set up, all the HTML code is taken care of for you. And all you have to do is concentrate on the marketing side of the business, which they teach to you anyway. So you've really got a business in a box that you could use. And as you progress through the system, you get trained on how to create your own landing pages, how to create your own sales pages, how to learn copy, how to learn all of that stuff. So you not only learn, you not only earn, but you get a chance to learn what you earn. You get a chance to learn as you're earning. And that's the great thing about this. It's like this big marketing university that's going to teach you, and especially when you get qualified and you go to the higher levels, it's going to teach you to take everything you know so that you can go ahead and sell anything offline or sell anything online with your own product. And it really starts to build you up as a successful marketer. And I can tell you that this system has influenced me in that respect, because I know how to do all the other stuff which I have training on. And this is only thanks to the fact that I have upgraded and implemented the strategies. So if you, first of all, if you're considering getting in and you want to get started, I would say get started now. Click on that button below that says, if you're serious, go for it. That's what I would want you to do, all right? And you can get started with a basic trial, which will cost you $7 for 7 days to get a feeling what it's all about, and you'll see what I mean, how integrated it is. Now, I was talking about being successful with one condition. And I actually, I got a very good friend of mine on here who's actually just started out with the system. And he's been doing something which I want you to know about, and I want you to get this. This is probably the most basic yet most complicated thought or idea, because people don't do it, all right? It's just that simple. People get, I don't know how to put it other than, you know, overwhelmed, shell-shocked. They don't seem to do this one thing that you need to do. And I want Carl I think I'm going to say his surname correctly. I think it's Carl McKay. Carl McKay, who's actually just started about 6 weeks ago on this system, and he's starting to see results. All right, he's by no means making thousands of dollars, but he is starting to see results because of one thing that he's doing. So, Carl, if you're on there, I was wondering if you could just join us.
Hey, can you see me?
I can see you, yes.
All right.
Carl, if you could just, everybody, this is Carl McKay. He's on my team, and he is, so yeah, he's starting to see results with the system. And Carl, I wanted everybody to kind of get to know you, where you come from, what's your background, how did you actually get into this type of industry? If you wouldn't mind just sharing with us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. Hey, thanks for your introduction there, Dave. Well, myself, I've worked in the construction trades all my life, and, I've been busting my hump. And a matter of fact, I still do it today. And, I just got home from work and jumped on here, and it's great. I'm really glad to do this. And I got to say, I've tried a lot of things in the past to try to make money on my own. I've always kind of wanted to work for myself, because I know that working that 9-to-5 grind for other people, it just doesn't get you anywhere. It can get you by, but it just doesn't happen. And, I took up music when I was younger, and I learned how to play the guitar, and I wanted, I had this dream when I was a kid, actually, when I was 16, to be this rock star. And, that didn't really happen. But I got involved with music because I enjoyed it so much. It was more of a spiritual growth thing for me. It became that. And it wasn't so much about being successful with it. But, I've always had in the back of my mind these thoughts about wanting to be able to break that cycle, break that chain of working that 9-to-5 grind, and, having a better life for myself and my family, and, and through time, I had problems in addiction in the past with alcohol and stuff like that. And, things happened, and it seemed like I was coming up to these brick walls all the time, where I couldn't really see that success. And I can really relate to how people get to these places that they lose that ambition to do something, to change, to do something better, to better themselves, to get ahead. And I've always picked myself up, and I decided to, at one point, to go into foster care to help kids. And I went and I worked in that field for a while, and I didn't know how to really help them. So I decided to go to school, and I went to college. And how we're programmed, it's right from day one, we're programmed. You go to school, get an education, go work a 9-to-5 job, and that's the way it is. But I started to believe that that's not the whole thing. That's not the whole deal. I mean, we don't have to do it that way, and we can change the way we live, and we can better ourselves and get a financial freedom by finding a proper plan, having a product to sell, having a plan, and then putting it into action. And that's something that I really truly believe in. And so at a certain point, I decided to try to get online and try to do a business online. And I went and tried like dating sites. I got a dating site for a while, and there was no support in it. There was no real training. They just you sign up, you get this thing, and you're left to your own whim on how to figure it all out. And I had looked into a couple other things. I considered doing the binary options, and I couldn't see that pulling through. And I found out the truth there through this business, doing the reviews that we've been doing. I'm understanding it a lot better. Anyway, let's see, where am I going with this? Okay.
How did you get into the industry?
Well, I found Dave on a site. I was looking for dating sites, and that was one of his reviews. And he was explaining how to start a dating site, and I clicked on this link, and there was this iPass thing, and I'm going, oh, well, this looks interesting. So I looked into it, and I watched the videos, And it inspired me because I could see they offered a complete package. They offered training. They offered, okay, so I don't have to build a website. Everything's there. I got support. And what, really triggered it too was Dave got a hold of me and asked me to join the mastermind group. And I said, really? He says, let's get on Skype. And he communicated with me. He reached out to me, and it got a little bit more fire up my butt, right? So I'm going, this is feeling better all the time. I think you got to reach out to your people as well, right? It's important. It's about that community thing too. And I've been doing this for now 6 weeks. And in that 6 weeks, because I've been applying the training, I've been doing what I've been told to do, and I'm getting results. I'm seeing it happening before my eyes. I was laying in bed and my phone went ding, ding, and I'm going, nice, I got a sale, And here, I'll just show you my wall. This is what I got everything on my wall here. Everything I need to do every day, here's my goals. I've got my goals, and that's what's keeping me motivated. I keep it right up front in my face every day. And I know that this thing can work. It's a matter of doing the deal. That's it. It's doing the deal. And I know success is on the way with me because I'm already seeing it on a daily basis. And it's a wonderful.
So tell me something, Carl. What would you say the one determining factor, or the one thing that you did that actually got you to see results?
Well, I was following the training, actually going through the steps, step by step, and applying it. I could sit there. I spent 3 days, almost 3 days, just watching the videos, and then I rewatched the videos until it started sinking in. And then, what was really hit home with me was when I first started doing it. I was trying to do Craigslist. I was trying to do Facebook. I was trying to do everything that they were showing us. And you're right. You got to just take one of those things and put your energy into that. And I'll never forget it, Dave. You told me to say, here, just focus on the videos. Just do the video thing. And and you gave me some ideas. And that's what I did. I focused on those. And that's all I did. And then I started to see hits on my stats. My things started happening. I'm going, yeah, this is the way to do it. Get good at one thing so you're not overwhelmed with it, and you'll see results. And it's, I see there's one, we got one girl on here that I know, she reaches out to everybody. She's a wonderful girl, Jennifer. I mean, she's got 3 kids and she's stay-at-home mom kind of thing, and she's doing this stuff. She's seeing results too. I mean, it's amazing. Anybody can do this thing. It's that simple. And that Wall Street movie, hey, I remember the pen thing. It's about supply and demand. Right? Supply and demand. He said to the guy, he says, here, sell me this pen. And the guy said, well, okay. No, okay. Well, write something down for me. Write this down for me, a list of what you need. He said, well, I can't. I don't have a pen.
Yeah.
Supply and demand. But yeah, that's that was pretty cool. I like that movie. That was good one. But I know I can say this is if you want to see results, it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from. This business is going to work, and it's going to make you money if you put your nose into it and just do the work. And even if you only got a couple hours a day, it's going to progress. And this saturation thing I keep hearing, I don't even think about that stuff, because I know you think about this. How many kids are going through school every year, are coming into school every year, right? You think about it now, and they graduate or they leave school and when they're 18, they're back throwing them out in the world. Those people are funneling in. Those are the people that are going to be coming online, and they're the ones that are going to be jumping on this. I mean, one thing that this business that kind of made a light bulb go on for me was, it trains you to do what you need to do to succeed, and that's the product. And I think that's one of the key things with this. What's so amazing about it is you're selling the product, but you're not directly selling it. And it's just too easy. It's too easy. It explain everything, and then like I'm loving it. I'm excited every day, you know. And
Yeah,
I have my
it's like if I said, it's like if I said to somebody, and this is actually another thing that Jordan Belfort said. He said, if I could give you a system, all right, now this is the if, because obviously, I can't guarantee that anyone's going to make results. I've got to say that as a disclaimer. Everyone's results will be different, but as an analogy, if I were to say to you, if I gave you a system and I said, this system is going to work for you. The only condition is that you have to work hard at it, work your butt hard at it for 24 months, and you will become a millionaire, whatever the case is. All right. So how many people would go for that? And nearly 100% of people put their hands up.
Right.
And honestly, quite seriously, we have a system here that is complete. And there's just so much evidence that it actually does work. All right. There's just, if you take a look all around the internet, people are using the system and seeing results, but they're only seeing results because they are putting the work and the effort into the training. All right. And they're not having shiny object syndrome where they just get distracted by every major thing that comes along the way. This is a system that you actually put work and effort into it. And if you do, you are going to see results. It's just no question. All right. So I remember 2 years ago, I had zero or minus in my bank balance. All right. I had no money. And I believed in this system so much that I just scraped together the amount of money I needed to get started. And every single month, I just kept on doing this and kept believing that I would do it. And, come 2 years later, I'm earning, just over $3,000 residual that's coming in every single month, which is incredible. All right. So it's not even to mention all of the other parts of the business that I'm getting commissions on. So if you're in a position where you're saying to yourself, I really want to make a change in your life, anybody can do this. The only condition is you need to put the work and effort into it. If you follow the training, if you get into the actual training and get stuck into it, you will start to see results. You just have to be consistently taking action every single day. Don't treat it like a hobby. Don't treat it like something you do today and then 4 days later, because a lot of us have that attitude. And to be perfectly honest, the only difficult thing about this business is that you have to work it. Isn't that right, Carl? You would say?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's I don't know what more I can say about that. It's how bad, it's like you were saying, it's how bad you want it, how bad do you really need it, I mean, if it's not that important, then you're in the wrong business. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, that's true.
That's the bottom line. I mean, myself, I'm a single guy, right? Okay. Maybe that's a benefit on my end as far as doing this. I don't know, but I only have to look after myself. But I know that I want more. I want to help my family. I'd like to buy my mom a house, and I use any excuse to do this. I make excuses to do it. I create things to keep me up on it, because I know I don't know, there's something deep inside of me that says that this is going to work. If I keep doing it, it's going to work. And if I only get one video out in a 2-day period because I worked and busted my butt, but if I listen to a mindset, or if I just do a part of that strategy and I just keep it up, it's going to keep going. It's going to get where I need to go. You got
how big of an influence you've got the inner circle, right?
Yeah, I've got. That's the thing too. When I first saw the intro videos and that stuff, it got me fired up. I mean, this business really did when I saw what it was about, and I didn't want to just get in on basic. I went pro right away, and it's costing me a little extra each month, but I know that because I'm a pro, at least I'm going to get a little higher. It's all I could afford at the time. but I'm going to get a little higher commissions. I'm going to get more money with those sales. I don't want those past by. I want to go freaking black, okay? Because I know Dave's going to get all my money. I mean, you know, really. I want to go black, so I'm working my busting my onion ball just so I can go black. Anyway, I know it's going to happen. I mean, if you can't afford it, I know building that downline is important, and that comes down to the basics, the stuff you get when you first get in here. It's putting that stuff into practice. I mean, I'm seeing that already. You know, in 5 weeks, I've had 5,000 hits on my campaigns. 5,000 hits and I've only got like 25 videos out there, right? I mean, one day. I got to mention this. When I first started making the videos, it took me 7-8 hours to do one video. I can blow it off now in 10 minutes. I can do a video in 10 minutes. The practice gets perfect. It gets easier. It gets quicker. Things happen, and you can start doing more and more and more. The more you know, and you get that little pattern down, and you start to understand what you really need to do, you know, and that feeling of overwhelmness goes away. It's not relevant anymore. You know, even in 5 weeks, I've noticed that a big change. You know.
Okay, so let me be devil's advocate here. Let me ask some of the questions that people might be asking, and that is, so Carl, surely you're using something else. Are you just telling me that all I need is a computer and the system?
All you need is a computer. Well, you need the system. You've got a product. Everything's included in this deal. We got everything we need, but your computer, a webcam, and a mic, right? You want to be able to do the videos. I've got a crappy camera, but it still works, you know? You can get one from like Value Village or something, you know, for like $5, and that's all you need, right? So sure, there's a little like other expenses that came up. When I first got in, like I didn't know, was like the get response. You had to get that, just get that set up. That autoresponder, it's a fee every month. Okay, whoopee ding dong. But the thing is, once you sign up, a few people sign up, that stuff gets taken care of, okay? I know a lot of people that'll get in this, they'll drop out because, oh, I got to spend this money every month. But they're not seeing the truth. The reality is, well, if you get it going and you get somebody in, once you get people signed in, which is a wonderful thing, it does it all by itself. You just do the work, you know, then it pays for itself. And it's going to be at a point where that expense is nullified. You don't even have to worry about it, right? So
yeah, no, it's kind of like, you know, you're like, oh man, I don't want to be paying all that extra stuff. Come on, let's go for a Starbucks and a burger. It's like, right. What?
Right. And when you get out of that, yeah, you just crap it out the next day and then it's gone, right?
You know, it's weird. Exactly. So I remember actually before I got online, I used to have these meetings with a buddy of mine. All right, and we used to call this. We visited this coffee shop so often. It was kind of like our office. We were known by everybody. We'd go there for a coffee to discuss business every single day virtually. We went there to spend money on coffee. And what you don't realize is that you spend so much. If you add up all of those times you go out to spend it on a coffee or having a burger, you could cover your expenses so easily, because remember that you're investing in yourself and you're investing in something you can use all the time. So you know, that's why I say you've got to focus on what you need, cut out all distractions, and work out exactly what you want, because that's the only way that you're going to see some sort of result. The moment you get clarity on what you want, that's when things start to make sense. All right. So yeah, man, I can totally identify with that. Absolutely.
You know, we're programmed. You watch TV. Everything you see on TV is negative. You know, we're programmed to see the negative in things. I mean, somebody asked me to join them to do something. My automatic response is, "Come on, it's a scam. You know, you're just trying to make money off me." You know, that's the way we're programmed to think. You know,
yeah.
But if we can try to be a little more open-minded, which is what I've been trying to do with myself, be open-minded. Look at the bigger picture here. There is a bigger picture that we don't see. I think, you know, myself, I've ran through life with these blinders on, and it's time to take those blinders off, right? And if you get rid of those blinders and look at the whole bigger picture, and one of the bigger pictures was, you know, and I could see the sincerity in Chris Jones' videos. You know, when I was watching those videos and I was listening to what he was saying, I could see that I could feel the sincerity in him. He wasn't just, you know, he wasn't trying to push anything except, sure, he wanted you to go black right away. You know, I'm sure that's, you know, but that's where he's at. He knows that that's where the big money is, right? Once you get there, but you know, in that and that can be overwhelming too when you first get introduced into the system. I noticed that sort of put a little pressure on me, but I soon realized that as long as I can get my finger in there, I get my foot in there, and I start doing it, and I start building that downline, I'll get enough money to be able to move up and do that. And that's just, I'm thinking I want to succeed at this. You know, my headspace is I'm going to do this, and it's every day I think about it. If I start to feel a little bit overwhelmed or anything, I'll throw on one of them mindset tapes from Inner Circle, and I'll listen to that, and or I'll send a message to Dave or whatever. You know, it's just reach out to the group. You know, we got so many avenues to reach out to. You know, keep it going, and then I love that saying you got there. Keep on keeping it on. Keep on. You know, that's great. You know, let's just do it, right? But we can do it together. We don't have to do it alone. You know, and that's huge. You know, that's
it certainly is. It certainly is wonderful when you have a whole community of people they've got the same vision. You know, they want to succeed, and we've always got this communication, or this community we can visit and to express results. You know, because a lot of people, they don't get encouragement, because you know, just coming from my own place where I live in a country where there is quite a bit of crime, and it causes people to be suspicious of absolutely everything. You know, so we have all the news that we ever see as bad news. We just see constant bad news, and that just makes us more paranoid, and we don't trust people as readily as we should be, because some people just want perhaps a helping hand. And so I personally do not watch the news. All right, I do not watch the news other than some minor things that might come up, but I try not to fill my mind with negative energy that's going to just pull me back. You know, if you spend your time surrounded with negative people, it's going to affect the way that you work. You know, if you spend your time around with positive people that are actually working towards a goal, and they have everything that they need in front of you, if you spend your time with them, you're going to see results. So I suppose that's basically what, you know, I want to say. If you guys want to see success in your business, if you want to have to see results, do that one thing that you need to do, and that is to go through the training and to take action. All right, don't just go through the training and leave it. Go through it again in a few days' time. Go through the training and do what you can immediately. And if you're a perfectionist, get over it. All right? If you wait every single time to do something, you're never going to do it. Just like Cole said, it took him like 8 hours to make one video. Now he can push them out in like 10 minutes. And that's completely true. The more you practice, the better you become. And yes, you know, that's basically what I want you guys to realize. You know, you may not realize, but it's that simple, right? There is no magic pill. If you want to know magic pill, and the magic pill is taking action and breaking it down into steps that you can actually do to get rid of the distractions, stop being overwhelmed, and focus on one thing and become good at it. That's the only way that you're going to see some sort of result. So, I don't know, Carl, is there anything else you want to say to the group before we say goodbye?
Well, you know, one thing that really, you know, it hits home with me. It's the reality of it from what I've got out of this so far that really hits home with me. It is focusing on that one thing. It just getting good at that one thing, because since I focused just on the video thing, I started to I've gotten down to where, like I say, you know, 10 minutes I can blow off a video now. Right now, I'm looking more into the blogging part of it, and I've noticed I've increased my blogging by, if I take my videos and I integrate them into my blog, Okay, now that's increased my SEO on Google. So if somebody goes to look for that thing on Google, it's coming up because I integrated that in there. So I'm noticing that. So now I want to focus on working on my blog a little more and get that going more. And then once I get good at that, then I want to move on to something else. It's one thing at a time. And since I've been doing it that way, I'm seeing results. And yeah, I'm smelling the beaches. Okay. And that's going to.
Don't so guys, if you are not in the system yet and you want to get in, I want to encourage you to go ahead and click on that button that says I'm serious, let's get this going. All right, if you are serious and you want to get this going, and you really want to do this and you are somebody who's committed to it, once you actually get into the system and you get going with it, and you can send an email to myself at dave@devforyou.co.za. I don't care which team you're in. I don't care how you've come to the system if you're not in my team. But if you are serious and you do want to get going with this, I will give you a 15 minutes coaching call that will help you get going. And I will also give you access to my free training on how to actually start driving lots and lots of traffic, which is exactly the type of traffic that Carl is experiencing and he's seeing results with. So if you would like to do that, get started now with the system. You know, it's $7. Get started with it, and you can actually see the potential behind the system and what it can actually do for you. All right, so I don't know if there's anybody that's got any questions, but that's okay. I think we'll give it a few minutes. So you want to go black, hey, Carl?
Yeah, but I want to go black is, you know, I can't see it happening right away, but, you know, I've been looking at like the paid traffic thing too, right? But you know what? That takes all the fun out of it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm seeing now. It might, you know, they'd say, oh, it's an easy way to get your, you know, get traffic to your site. But, you know, yeah, it kind of takes the fun out of it. I'm having fun doing this. And I'm making it, it's, you know, it's bringing me joy just to do this and learn this stuff, you know. And if you can adapt that kind of attitude with it, you know, there's no stopping you. Really, I mean, I just, you know, I don't know. It's got me all jacked up. Just a little bit of the results that I'm seeing from the little time that I've been involved with this. I mean, I can only say for myself, it's a miracle that's happening in my life, and I don't want it to end. I want it to keep it going. You know.
Yeah, man. What was that first feeling like when you got that first commission? When you made that first money?
It was like my first kiss, man. I'm serious. It was. I was like, yeah, I love this. You know,
wow, dude.
It may have only been $20, but I didn't care. I knew it worked. As soon as I saw that sale, that my phone went ding. What? I got a sale? I was shocked. And I thought, you know, okay, I'm doing.
And you weren't doing anything. You weren't doing anything.
No, I wasn't doing nothing. And like I wasn't even expecting it. It happened unexpectedly. You know what? On the weekend, same thing. And it happens in the morning for some reason. I'm laying on bed and all of a sudden, ding, ding. I'm going, well, okay, who's somebody sending me a text? I pick it up. Oh, congratulations, you just got a sale. Congratulations, what? I was just, I wet myself. I thought this is great.
I was on the phone. I was actually on a Skype call with you when you got a sale, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing stuff. You know,
yeah, it's really great.
It validates all the work and effort you put into it. Once you start seeing those little wins, I mean, you know, if that can happen, that means the big wins can happen. That's just the way it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to happen. It's just, I'm convinced. There's no more convincing, Carl.
All right, Carl, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Hangout with us today. Thank you so much. You're always such a pleasure to talk to you, man. Guys, so as I said, if you want to get started with the system, by all means, go for it. And if you do get started within the next 20 minutes, I will give you that I will give you that free coaching call on Skype. I'll chat to you and talk to you about what you actually have to do to get started. But after the 20 minutes are up, I'm afraid that's it. All right. So with that said, I'm going to end this webinar right now, and we'll see you next week for next week's webinar. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.